Hey, I know it's been a while. Without further ado, welcome to my seasonal scrapping summary. The cover! You know I had to. Okay. So we have here my living scrapbook for 2023 so far. She's beautiful. This was actually a thrifted notebook that I found, which the first question I always get when people are like, oh my god, I want to create one of these, where did you get your notebook? On curlyheadedred.com you can find your very own notebook, scrap shirt, anything really that is curly curated. Anyway, let's get into it. We have some little keychain fun things on the corner. In the back, I actually have a pocket. Green screen me is gonna go into the depths. Stickers of all kinds, scraps from the sidewalk. Literally everything is here, but my favorite thing is only on the cover. Orange is a theme we're going for, including these gems that were once on my face, but now on my notebook cover. I found this mirror and this 401 license plate cover on the ground. A bunch of fun stickers, including one I made, one my friend made. I'm loving it so far. The front. Inside, I have my vision board. We're manifesting a lot this year, including hopefully getting my yoga certification, living life scrapping to the fullest, including a website, and being my own inspiration and think it, do it. And also an A through Z clothing collection. I'm trying to find a new groove, something that feels more authentic to who I am now, instead of recreating what I once did. Because honestly, things change. Each day, things change. That's what my trackers say, at least. And instead of weather and temperature separately, I've just done climate in one. The warmest day was on February 16th at a whopping 70 degrees. On the other hand, the coldest day was just a week before at 14. The steps have to be my favorite new category. I figured out that in January, I walked 112.7 miles, February 88.4 miles total, and March 73.1 so far. A total of 274 miles I've walked this year. On another hand, I've spent 285 hours on my phone so far this year. From first glance, when you look at my reading log, you're like, wow, this girl reads a lot. You'd be mistaken. No, I'm just kidding. I try. So far this year, I have read 2 books. As I have done in previous years, which you can see here, I also wrote a letter to my future self. This one was a lot more goal-oriented, like, Jacqueline, you need to be here by the end of the year. You need to do this. I hope you're doing that, blah, blah. So I'll share that with you at the end of the year, hopefully. Around it, I have a couple of fun quotes. Happiness is the ultimate success. And of course, I have a look ahead page, which I've completely changed, but this is probably my favorite iteration of it. I used a traditional monthly planner, glued that in here, and now when I'm making plans with somebody for March, when it's still February, I have this to just jot down whatever is going on, you know? Every month, at the beginning of the month, you'll see I've tried to journal. Some months I'm better at it than others. That's all right. That's all about the living scrapbook life and living life scrapping, because you learn a lot about yourself along the way. I read the 4 agreements back in January, so I wrote down what the 4 agreements are. If you're not one for reading, this is what they are. Green screen me. Go for it. Copy that, Curly. What the word is what the word does. Don't take anything personally. Don't make assumptions. Ask questions. Always do your best. As always, each week is completely different. And that's the best part with the living scrapbook. It's all about what's going on in your life then. Here you can see a couple of examples of that, including many, many scrap flaps, from tags, receipts, sticky notes, you name it, it can be a scrap flap, including copy paper that you just glue down in the middle. Week 2, I've been trying to label the weeks too. I only really did that in January, I'm realizing right now. I always try to go with a general color theme. I'm always trying different things, like different categorizing my to-do list, writing highlights and lowlights, and really just doing whatever I see fit at that time. Like this week, for example, I incorporated my to-do list with my journal. On the other side, I have the scraps as usual, including a whole date night that I can recount from a huge scrap flap. I'm trying to write a letter to a family member or friend every week, and I got the idea from this. Letters of gratitude. So each one has like a little prompt. So this one says, thanks for listening to me when ... And so I've been filling those out and sending them to family members and things like that. But the reason I mention that is because my grandma wrote me a letter back, and she's been the only one to write me a letter back so far, which is absolutely fine, but it was great. So I put that in my scrapbook. She gets it. And then I've tried to sprinkle a couple journal prompts throughout, and I'm realizing I'm not really journaling a lot this year, which is absolutely okay. I'm definitely using this more so as a planner and a tracker, more so than a journal, but who knows? But for now, we're not journaling much, even though we attempted to. Also, as you can see, I didn't really journal and still in the process of, so it is what it is, you know? Don't get mad at yourself. You're doing the best you can. I can help you create your own living scrapbook. That's also going to be available on my website. I'll also have scrap shirts, notebooks, like I mentioned, scrap packs if you're not one to look for scraps, but nonetheless, here we go, February, the first week. Something I remembered I did in previous years is fold a page in half, so that way I get the inside and the other side. If that makes sense. First scrap flap you see here is from a scrap pal, Jonna. Inside the little barn door here, I have a manifestation board that was Jonna and Taylor's that she also sent me in the mail, including her absolutely amazing letter. It was also Valentine's this week, so I have a couple of scraps from that, including the background being a McDonald's bag. See, it can come from anywhere. Including new jobs. The first thing I ever built at Wayfair was this bed, so I had to keep the instruction manual. Underneath it, you can see the other things that I built on day 2, day 3, and plenty more. For all your furniture needs, call 1-800-CURLY. I also went to my first ever stand-up comedy show of Crystalia, so I kept my little ticket and put that in a little folder, and this is where I finally did a journal reflection, because things like that, sure, I'll remember a couple of the photos I took in the memory there, but it's better to write a thorough journal explanation for big events like that. On the following week, we had another version that I tried out where I'm putting all of my planner on one side and all my scraps on the other. Green screen me, we'll get into that a little bit. You'll notice that most of my scrap flaps are grocery lists or little to-do lists that I write on sticky notes and then put into my notebook. As I mentioned, I build quite a lot at my new job, so I thought of including an envelope to just shove all of my builds into. And then I paper clipped all of those and wrote down the day, so that way, looking back, I'm like, wow, look at all that stuff I built. This is probably one of my favorite spreads so far this year. Faux magazine cover, and also all of the points that really hit home for me in the defining decade. Green screen me will point out a couple for you. Confidence is trusting yourself. Hope is a good breakfast, but a bad supper. 80% of life's most significant moments take place by age 35. And already, we're at March. Can you believe it? Like, time is going by way too fast. It's scary. The March cover spread, I'm not loving, honestly, but whatever, it is what it is. The first day of March is my dad's birthday. My little sister made some fun birthday signs, and I copied what I did back in February, just out of saving some pages in this book instead of doing every week a new 2-page spread. This is actually the whole month within 4 pages. My life has been very repetitious as of late, so that's why I figured doing a seasonal scrapping summary will be a lot more effective in what the message I'm trying to convey. But that's it so far. Out of those 81 days, I've only scrapped 36 of them. So you get it. It doesn't take a lot of effort. Out of the 3 months, I've only scrapped 1 month, technically. You know what I mean? The back! The back is one of my favorite places. It includes a matchbook, an envelope that I'm gonna be putting all of special event cards, things to be successful, angel number reference, business page, things I need and want, a folder with all things scrap that I'm gonna use in the future or later in an envelope, a restaurant guide that I was really loving, photo shoot ideas, mail tracker, other random things, quotes, curly tips. You can all find it back here in the back. That's pretty much the gist of things. I hope green screen me spices it up a little bit. I hope I didn't look at my viewfinder too much. But I'm happy to be back. I'm happy to just chat it up. But Aldo just pulled up and he's letting me know it's time for his walk. So on that note, that is my cue, my curly cue to get out of here. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm not gonna overthink it too much. I'm just gonna do what I do. With that being said,